will begin. Okay. First off, I just want to say welcome to the February General PTO meeting. We are starting this meeting at 7:04 p.m. on the 24th of February. So much for coming. I just want to give a shout out to all of our donors. Thank you so much for making all of this possible. We talked about how we're putting on events, we're putting on we had a successful, event for students when we just did, and I'll let everybody talk about it. But we had a successful ice skating event for our students. All of that is, we had a breakfast with the principal. All of that is made possible by generous donations. What we do for the school, the monthly, teacher lunches that we do is all made possible by you. So thank you so much to our donors. And there's always time to donate. We're going to talk about some events coming up here this spring that we still have, time to kind of celebrate and collaborate and get together, build community. Yeah. Gary, anything you want to say beyond that, or Yasi, before I kind of go into business?
But everything you said, just a huge thank you to everyone that makes this possible. If you have donated and you don't see your name here, all of the names are on the website. So if you haven't checked, you do have a little bit of fame coming up. Your name has been kind of on the website ever since you donated. So definitely take a look there, and a huge thank you to everyone that makes things possible for the PTO and the school.
Gary and Elizabeth, I think that I have to interject also. This particular form is the one I think I put on. This was just especially for the breakfast with the principal group that we had. I have a whole other form also, which I think I might have. Um, Not sure if I've added it to when I'm about to talk, but as Gary
Sure.
said too, there is a bigger list with like everybody's names because this is just like a fragment of every single person who has done something and every PTO person who has donated even a little bit has helped. So this is definitely like the list that we're talking about now because we just had that event, but I will thank everybody again when it's my turn again to speak.
Thank you so much, Yasi. Okay, so as we kind of move forward per the usual, this is kind of our typical agenda. We'll have our president's report, principals, faculty liaison, board member reports, and then we have some special agenda items this evening, as we typically do. We're going to be talking a little bit about the senior scholarship program, the application process. We have Vandana, who is here and chairing that committee. So she'll be talking about that. Plus, we also have a college prep discussion with Josh Prater. He's going to come give us a little bit of information. So I'm very excited about that. And then we'll also talk about the calendar as we move into spring. Again, if you have questions, let's please, ask those in the chat, and we'll get to those. So, as always, our our minutes are posted on the PTO website. They are under the meeting minutes. We have them there, and the transcript. You can find the recording if you'd like to watch. But then if you don't want to and you just want to see the summary, it's also to the side. May I get an approval for the January 2026 PTO meeting?
I second the vote.
Thank you, Gary. And any objections? Okay, I see no objections. So the minutes pass, and we will proceed with this evening. All right, Gary.
Yeah, thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. I'm sure your kiddos are enjoying their time home after having a fun trip. at the zoo. But I want to take some time here just really quickly to go over some of the activities that we did in February. And also we'll talk a little bit about some of the things that are upcoming in the rest of February and March, and a little bit into April before we are able to meet again for the next PTO meeting. So one of the key things that happened earlier in the month of February was there were two different college trips that were planned out for the junior group. One was the PTO planned Texas college tour. We went to Texas A&M, and you're seeing some of the group of kids here. We also met up with the alumni, and we had sent out a request to all of our parent body to see if they had older children that were at Texas A&M that could stop by and speak with our students. And as you can see, several folks actually did show up, and I have to say there were about 20 or so visitors, or let's say folks that had alumni that had graduated in different years in the past. And so there were 20-ish or so, and I think there was a point where we had about 15 students and about 20 alumni, which was such a great ratio where students got to talk to different alumni in different categories of schools and majors, and were really able to be inspired by the path that some of the students before them had taken. And I could see their kind of eyes light up with excitement when someone spoke about, I'm in the medical field, and someone associated with that, or if I'm in the engineering space. And we also met a student that called himself a rocket scientist, and that was super interesting. But really gratifying to see so many Carnegie students that have graduated and done so well for themselves, and were willing to come back and just for that day mentor the students that were coming out to visit their colleges. So we did visit Texas A&M, and Elizabeth, if you could take us to the next slide. We also visited UT on the next day. And so we were able to go out to UT. This picture on the top left there is from the engineering college. And then we were also able to sit down and have a meal with the students, engaging with different alumni. So super exciting trip. The PTO started this year. We had about somewhere between 10 and 15 participants across the two different schools. And next year, we're hoping, if there is enough interest, we're hoping to bring this back and have this once again be available for our juniors as we go into this kind of holiday time, that we can take time off from school, yet the colleges are still in session. And so the students can visit and see how college life really is. In addition to the PTO coordinating that, yep, Elizabeth, you can go on to the next one. There is a first gen college tour that is put together by Dr. Haney, who, if you guys remember, if you were here for the last PTO meeting, Dr. Haney had come and she spoke to us about everything that happens on this tour. And they actually do take a lot more students, and they take students without the parents. So I think there's a few chaperones that they ask for. However, it is a student focused, or mainly student tour. They went out around the same time and also had a really great experience. And I think they also visited Sam Houston and possibly a couple more colleges. So both of these college tours really great response. The parents that went on them with other students had a really good response as well, and had some good suggestions and feedback for us. So if you have a freshman or you have a sophomore, definitely look forward to these announcements next year so that you can get engaged and partake in some of these activities next year as well. Elizabeth, we can move on. In addition to that, so this earlier today, the school went out on a zoo field trip. I've seen some pictures. Um, Everybody will get to see them in the newsletter that's coming out. But from everything I heard and what my kiddo was saying and the chats that were going back and forth, I think the kids had a wonderful time. I also think the chaperones had a really good time as well. So it was an interesting experience for the children. It is one every year, and this year was no different. So thank you to the school for leading the way and kind of exposing the kids on such a beautiful day to be outside and enjoy the zoo. If you missed it, there was a t-shirt sale that happened around Valentine's, right around Valentine's Day. And the purple t-shirt that you see displayed here, and the special events team, they did all of the work of gathering the artwork from our art teacher, as well as kind of they do this on an ongoing basis where they allow children to or our students to participate in uh, turning in different artwork that they might be interested in lending to the PTO so we can put them on t-shirts and allow parents to purchase them. This one in particular, as you can tell, I am wearing the purple. I don't know if you can see the little heart on my shoulder here. Beautiful t-shirt and really nice fabric as well. So thank you, Then, for putting that together. Um, I I couldn't remember then if you had more to sell or you didn't, but I think the sale is closed. So this really was a reminder to all of the parents. If you see a sale come up like this, these are usually like short time events that the PTO puts together where you get an opportunity to purchase shirts with artwork from our students. Okay, in addition to that, there will be a little bit later in the program today, we will be talking more about the PTO Senior Scholarship. But the only thing I want to say here is that the scholarship program is open. It's a once a year event that we do for the seniors. So for all senior parents that are on the call today, please use your phone or your device to um, grab this QR code on the right bottom. It takes you to the scholarship video. And so you'll get a little bit more information on. There was a meeting that was focused only for the seniors. If you missed that, you can get all of your information there. But I know Vandana, our scholarship chair, committee chair, is on and she will be giving some more information live. So if you had questions, please stick around for that and you can ask her and get some answers right away. In addition to that, I also want to call out that we are preparing spring baskets for the spring. So these will be prepared just before spring break. So just like the holiday basket, so we did a Thanksgiving basket and we did a holiday basket. We are working with the school, Miss Williams in particular, to build spring baskets. They will be a little bit different, but still focus on the same families in need that we provide a week's worth of some sort of food and sustenance that the students can take home with them. And this is an ongoing program. I know they're accepting donations now, but if you would like to donate monetarily, please click on the or grab the QR code, the larger one on the left corner. Yep, thank you. And that will take you to the donate direct donation link. So you can donate money if you wanted, and if you were interested in donating in kind, so food items and such, look for that donation link as well. That should be out pretty soon. Okay, and then I know Mary's going to talk about this a little bit more in detail, but for anyone that's interested, please stick around for her segment. Board nominations for 2026 and 2027 are being accepted at this time. And you can put in your nomination. You nominate yourself. You don't need a friend to nominate you. You can nominate yourself, and you can do that by directly emailing volunteers at cvhspto.org. And I know Mary has a little bit more detail on the positions, etc., in her segment. So definitely stick around for that. Okay. Thank you. A quick look at upcoming calendars. We're on the 24th right now. What's coming up is spring break from the 9th through the 13th. And we're requesting that if you are planning on donating food items, you bring them in by 9 o'clock on the 7th of March. If you can get them in earlier than that, please do send them in. I know Miss Williams has already started accepting donations at the school. March 30th is a holiday. Just wanted to call that out if you haven't gotten that in your calendar. And then April 1st, April Fool's Day, not a joke, but the juniors have SAT on that day. So pencil that in. And then, oh, I don't know why it says Thanksgiving
We're just
break.
gonna forget about that.
Yeah, I don't know how that came up, but that's my April Fool's joke.
That's perfect, Gary. I love it. All right. Thank you so much, Gary. Really appreciate it. There's a lot going on, as you saw, a lot going on in the spring. And I just want to give another shout out to those shirts. I also got that heart shirt, and it's such a cool design, such a great shirt. So I love the fact that, we continue to have our students' artwork like presented in that way. It gives everybody an opportunity to kind of enjoy what our students do, which is really special. Principal Moss, I'm so sorry. I'm on like a little screen, so I can't tell if you're on, but if you would like to give a excuse me, give us a little message, that would be great.
Sure. Good evening,
Oh,
everybody.
thank you.
Yeah. So as was mentioned earlier, today was our zoo field trip, and I think it was great. I got some great feedback from students, and yes, from faculty and staff as well. So we're very happy to be able to do that with school wide, but also a great big thanks to the PTO because you all supported the students, well, everyone with pizza. So we're truly appreciative of that. I was worried that it might be too cold today, but it ended up being just perfect weather. So that was a blessing in my book. And I kind of saw it as, kind of a little tease in anticipation of spring break. However, before we get to spring break, we do have some business. Yesterday started a 2-week window for a possible visit for IRT, which is Independent Review Team, where we have 2 members of HISD who will visit various different campuses. And go into classrooms and rate the instruction that's taking place. So it could happen tomorrow, all the way through, I believe, next Thursday or possibly next Friday. But I visited 5 classrooms yesterday for spot observations. I still have one more to do this week. And I can attest that our teachers are on it and they are prepared. And I'm sure that they and the students are going to perform their best. And that will be indicative in the ratings. So that's what I'm very much looking forward to. Also, was mentioned earlier, we are in test season. SAT is upcoming. Before we know it, we're going to have the real star. You all are familiar with the interim star that we took, but the real star is upcoming, and before we know it, we'll be in May with AP testing. Some people have asked me about the 1882 partnership, and of course, Carnegie is one of 3 schools that requested a planning year, but I have continued to attend the meetings to gain information in order to prepare us if we so choose to submit our intent to apply maybe this time next year. For the 4 schools, 4 out of 7 that are proceeding with it, The March board meeting will have a little bit more details. I believe that the board will vote for those 4 schools in regards to the process. And if all of their plans or contracts are approved, then it will go to the Texas Education Agency, TEA, for their final approval. So I continue to attend the meetings, and of course, those 4 schools are kind of leading the way. And that will determine again if we feel that that is the route that Carnegie wants to take. My position is that it's all for one, one for all. And what our teachers, what our parents, what our students want will drive that decision when it is our time. And of course, I am on the call, so I'll be monitoring the chat if anyone has any questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moss. Yeah, another great year. It's so another great trip to the zoo. I think it's so wonderful that our students get to appreciate that as well as staff. So thank you so much. That's such a nice thing that we get to do.
Oh, and let me,
Yeah.
when we came back, the students were required to write an extended constructed response regarding their learning and overall experience at the zoo. So I look forward to reading those. Always
Awesome.
keeping it educational.
Gotta do it. I love it. Miss Brody, is there anything that you'd like to add? Oh, I'm so sorry. You're on mute, I think.
At this time, Mr. Moss did a good job of covering everything. Again, thank you guys so much for covering lunch today for us and all the students. They really had a blast today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Brody. Okay.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. This is always the part where I get to express how incredibly grateful we are, those of us on the board, because all of us are part of the PTO, but those of us on the board get to kind of steer the ship a little bit, and we wouldn't be able to do it without all of you guys coming through and showing up every time we have a fundraising drive. And we are just very grateful to our parents who donate and make us give us the ability to do the things that we do for the school, or that we help the school accomplish, or that we facilitate, let's say. Some of these things that Gari talked about and brought up, can only really happen with your help and with you guys helping raise funds to do it. So thank you guys so much. Every single one of you, literally every little bit is important and makes a difference. We did have an event just Friday to thank some of our higher tier donors. We usually do this every year. We have what we call Breakfast with the Principal, where up after a certain tier, our donors get to come, and we had it on Friday at Della Coffee. For those of you who don't know, Della Coffee is one of our cute little neighborhood joints, and if you haven't been there, you should. They're such a cute place. The people are so nice. The coffee and the food is really good, and this is the second year we're having our event there, and it was just wonderful. You can tell from the picture we all had a really great time. It was so nice to see every single one of you that showed up, and for those of you that didn't, we missed you, but we thank you anyway. So yes, it was wonderful. Thank you to Principal Moss for showing up and giving us his time. And we had a few teachers come and help us kind of express how important it is for us that you donors show up, and how it helps the teachers, do what they want to do, especially for the students. A lot of our teachers come forward and they want to do something for the students, and their hands are tied because, as you know, we're a public school and can't do everything. So thanks to you guys, some of that stuff can happen. So it was a very successful event, and thank you again. Elizabeth, I think we can, yes. Okay, so again, just to reiterate and to thank you once more. what you guys do when we do donation drives, when we sell t-shirts, when we do the friends and family, like the the funds that you donate get to go to the things that we talk about later. Like when we talk about scholarships, we're doing scholarships for seniors. It'll come up after my talk, but we fund those scholarships with the money that you donate. When we talk about, student events, we fund those events with the money that you donate. If you see that the students pay a minimal ticket price, we only do that to ensure that attendance, is taken. Otherwise, like most of the money that goes towards those events, it's thanks to your donations. So, the college tours, anything like that, the pizza today, like everything that we do is thanks to you guys. So just a few of the things that you help make happen. There's my big list. I was like, I hope that thank you, Elizabeth. Uh, you're the best. So yes, look at our just lovely extended, amazing family. Every single one of you has helped make this happen. And, we've been lucky to have a few corporate donors. We've had Davis Chevrolet coming through for us a few years now. They don't even have any students at Carnegie, but they are such nice community partners for us. Every time we go to them, they're happy to help us. And this year we had a few other companies join us to to help us. And I just thank every single one of them and of course every single one of you. So thank you one more time. And then I think, okay, so the next exciting thing, and this is something that we are extremely excited to be pivoting towards. And for those of you who this is not your first year at Carnegie, you might have come to one of our spring galas. Every year we get very excited because we put together our spring auction and gala. And sometimes it's not a gala, it's just a really, really fun get together where we get together and do something or just like get together and hang out and talk and have a good night. This is an adults only, parents, fun night. So this year, we are very lucky to have Anushka Tandon as our Crash Bash chair. We call this Crash Bash. For those of you who don't know, Crash is a group of rhinos. So every year we call it our Crash Bash. And Anushka, are you on? I
I'm
just keep
here,
talking.
yes.
Hi, I'm going to give you a minute to say
Yeah,
hello and
sure. Thank you for that introduction, Yasi. I just wanted to give you all a heads up about our springtime gala, which will be on April 25th this year. So please save the date. Put it on your calendars now. This is an event you don't want to miss. It's really fun, opportunity to get together with parents, enjoy a beautiful venue, and there will be an auction as well, which will be lots of fun. So this year, the venue is Flora, and it's located off of Ellen Parkway and Dunleavy. It is surrounded by nature, lots of trees all around, the bayou on one side, a pond on the other side, and a walking trail all around. So, of course, we'll be indoors some of the time, but it's just a beautiful surrounding as well. You can enjoy walking around in the evening. And they have awesome, really tasty, authentic Mexican food. So I'm very excited about the venue. It seems very promising, and I think you all will have a good time. We're also working hard on lining up a list of great auction items, and we will be sharing that with you all the week before this event. It will be a silent auction, and then we'll also have some live auction items at the event as well. So please, I hope to see everyone there. Save this date, and we will be selling tickets shortly. Hope to see everyone there.
thank you so much, Anushka. It's been so lovely having you chair this event already. We're already excited for the venue that you've picked, and I really hope that All the parents who can will show up. I also wanted to just put it out there as a first call of action. If any of you guys, because this is something where you can also, if you have anything that you can come up with to donate for the auction that you think would be really fun or that you think could help raise money for the school, if you happen to have box tickets to some sporting event that you're willing to give up one weekend, if you have a timeshare, if you would like to host a social and are willing to put that up for auction, anything that you can think of, please either message or email Anushka. Her email address should be on the slide that you're looking at. Or if you can't, you can also find my email up there. Any of us, if you email any of us, we will get that information to the right person. But it would be awesome if you guys have something and we could put that on our list of auction items. So, but otherwise, very excited for this event. Again, like Anushka said, keep your eyes out for when the ticket sales, but save the date regardless. Great. Okay, this is, I think, my last slide. Sorry, I've taken over half the meeting. So I just, before we get to talk about senior scholarships, I just wanted to mention for anybody who's interested, we actually, one of our corporate donors this year has been Montrose ER. If you guys were at the meeting last month, we had Alexa come on and tell us a little bit about their facility. It's like walking distance from Carnegie, and they have an amazing staff. Alexa's been amazing. Very, very nice facility. Lots of things available there, free CPR classes and everything. And they've been very, very generous community partners for us already. And actually, they've stepped in and have offered to sponsor one of our 15 scholarships that we're giving out this year. So basically, they're giving $1,000. They're going to fund one senior's scholarship. And because of that, we are having them come to our awards night where the scholarships get awarded and the scholarship will be given out in their name. So just to thank them for what a wonderful, support that is. And I just want to put it out there if anybody on this call or looking at this meeting later is at all interested in supporting Carnegie in this way and would like to have a scholarship named after them, we are more than happy to, hear from you. So please, if interested, my email address should be on that slide. I'm just fundraising at cvhspto.org. Let me know or let anybody else know, Gary, anybody that you have an email address for on the board. And, we'd be very grateful and that would be wonderful. So I think that's it for me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Yasi.
My pleasure.
Dan, I don't want to steal your thunder. You're working hard.
Yes, good evening, everybody. So as you can see, we had a very busy month of February, and we are going to be very busy in the next few months. A lot of things are going on. I just want to recap that we had a very successful event for the student at the ice skating ring in the Galleria. There was more than 130 students showed up. We had plenty of food. We had plenty of fun. Thank you so much to everyone, the volunteers, the parents, and the student alike. And also I didn't put on the slide, but Raising Cane in the mall. I work closely with the store manager there, and she was very generous to donate some extra food for us without us asking. I'm very, very, very thankful for that as well. And I do want to mention that I think we have the last student event coming up in April. It is April 11th, and we are still, I think we probably to the end of finalizing, but just mark the date. It is April 11th, and most likely would be at Top Golf. It's the same event venue that we had last year, but we're working on getting them to reserve the date for us. So As I know more, I will send out a fly through the WhatsApp channel for everybody. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Than. You've done such a great job putting on these events. We really, really appreciate it. So much dedication. Mary.
Hey, good evening,
Hello.
everybody. Good evening, everybody. So, I want to briefly talk about the past events that we had, and I also want to thank our volunteers. Like donations, equally important is the time and talent from our parents. So, the first one is our teachers' lunch. We had one in Jan, and also today, also we had one. I want to thank Alex, who coordinates with our teachers to make that happen. And we also celebrated our school counselors. You will see the pictures in the next slide. It was between February 2nd and February 6th. We have around five counselors, so we celebrated them. The ice skating event, we had around six parent volunteers plus six student volunteers who helped to make that happen with all the food distribution, checking in, all the 130 students and taking care of them. Thank you for that. And breakfast with principal. So there also we had volunteers, Amber, Wendy, and Eileen. They came at 7:30 to help with the check-in and distribution of the swag items. And today, the school field trip with around 800 plus students, we had 20 volunteers who went today and stayed with the kids the whole time from 9 o'clock to 2 p.m., chaperoning them. Thank you to our parent volunteers. And nomination committee, this is Gauri briefly talked about the nomination committee. So me, along with Meghna and Eunice, will be part of that committee who will be nominating the board members for 2026 and 2027. I will talk about the board positions in the next slide. The upcoming events we have, one happened today. And spring holiday basket, I put the link in the chat. There's a lot of slots already filled. So there are a few more items that we need to purchase to support our community, our school community. So please donate. If you can go to the next slide. So these are the board positions that we have: President, VP Fundraising and Development, VP Communications and IT, VP Volunteers and Membership, VP Special Events and Programs, Parliamentarian Secretary, Treasurer. So if any of you are interested, please email to volunteers@cvhspto.org. And also in the next newsletter, there will be a sign up link also coming your way. So please do sign up. We need a lot of help to continue the great work this video has done. So to continue that, we need a lot of support from our parent volunteers.
Mary, I'll jump in here for just a quick second
Yeah.
and put a shout out for the treasurer position in particular. It is one that is a little bit more skill-based around accounting and just really understanding how that position works. So if there are accountants out there, someone that's great with math and just wants to learn it, any of those skills, please send in nominations. We do have a treasurer position open, but then we also have several committees underneath the treasurer that they need assistance as well. And so this particular one has in the past been a little bit more difficult to fill. And so I invite everyone to take a minute to look through all the positions and then send an email to volunteers if you're interested. It is not first come, first serve, so I will say that. But we do want, more parents that can come along and bring their ideas, give their feedback, and be on the board and bring some fresh initiatives that we can continue some good traditions and start some new ones.
Yeah, thank you, Gauri. And I also want to add our new volunteers who has joined for our Crash Bash committee. That is, they're all new. Claudia, Jay, and Susie, Joanna, Priyanka, then Anushka and Yasi. Of course, they are leading that committee. Thank you. That is a big event, and thank you for all your help and raising your hand to help with the Crash Bash. Thank you. So these are our celebrations. This is our Counselors Appreciation Week. See our happy counselors. Next one.
Oh, sorry. My computer's slipping. Sorry.
This is our ice skating event parent volunteers. You see all the happy faces with the big pizza. No, we were distributing to our kids actually. Yeah. Next one. So this is our volunteers for the breakfast with principal. See to our serious volunteers checking in everyone in action. This is our teacher's lunch for Jan 27th. I didn't get time to put today's. These are our zoo trip volunteers. Thank you, everybody. Whenever we reach out to you, you immediately sign up or slots are filled. My heart is full. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you for putting this together. And we have a lot of need for volunteers, and it is, difficult work to get all that together. So thank you so much, Mary, for everything you do.
Thank you.
Mala?
Hey guys, sorry. Was trying to reply this message which I saw on chat about caps and gowns. Give me one second. So the caps
You
and
just want to
gowns.
speak about it here, Mala.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. So I
Sure.
got a question that the caps and gowns will when they will be distributed to the seniors. I mean, usually they happen like last week of May. So very close to the graduation date, because school always thinks, I mean, that they might get misplaced. Some of the caps or something, can happen to them. So they really like do it 2 to 3 days before. Yes. This
Sure.
statement of activity, thank you, Elizabeth, has everything we have received this year, and also everything that has been spent so far this year in the bank, from the bank, basically. So in and out from the bank is what is shown here. So in the top, which says income, it's almost like our where the funds come in. So this is what it all shows, that all the funds from friends and family or any other fundraisers we have. So every dollar gets reflected here. And if we go down, Elizabeth, can you go down? So the expense side has all these teacher appreciation lunches or pizza delivered at the zoo. I mean, that is not reflected here because that expense came yesterday. But yes, it will happen next month when you'll see this report, that number will be there. But what I meant to say is all the dollars which is used for any appreciations or any request from the clubs or any PT operating expenses, it's all in the expense side. So it has various categories, and that's where I try to use my best judgment to put all those expenses in there. So basically at the bottom, you'll see net of 57, close to 58-ish. That's our positive number so far. So, but then mind you all, it's end of the year, we get all those PTO scholarships and lot of things happen at the end of the school year, which require a lot of funds. So you'll see this number much lower in eventually 2 months. So yes, thank you so much. And this is all from me. And then, as I mentioned earlier, all 3 reports are on the website. So please go ahead and take a look there and let me know if you have any questions. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, sorry. We're going to go into our special agenda at this time, and we're going to start off here. Vandana, with you, if that's okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Elizabeth. Hi, everyone. I'm a ninth grade parent. I am chairing the scholarship committee. And if you are a senior parent, I recommend that you take screenshots of these next 5 slides. So for those that are not aware, the PTO, well, we give scholarships, and it has been mentioned many times during this hour. We have actually the most number of scholarships to give this year to seniors. We have 15 $1,000 scholarships, which is amazing, thanks to the fundraising efforts of our team. And these PTO scholarships, we do not actually, they're open to all and every senior at Carnegie this year. We do not look at your GPA and we do not look at your financial need. Again, we do not look at the GPA. We do not look at your financial need. All you need to do is what it says in the little blue box on the right. You have to have your contact, you fill out your contact information, tell me your future goals, submit a CV or a resume in PDF form, and then answer one of the 3 essay questions. In the middle section here, that's the entire student application. And then it's a little bit hard to read here, but we have the website for the scholarships. It's just tinyurl.com/senior scholarships 2026. So if you'll go to the next page, Elizabeth. Okay.
And so Soumya added the website in the chat for anyone that wants to go look.
Thanks
Okay,
so
perfect.
much, Samya. Thank you. Oh, would you like me to go to the next slide after this?
No, let's keep it on this slide. So
Sure,
this
thanks.
slide I made for the parents that may have Spanish as their primary language. I am still working through it. This is mainly Google Translate, but I have to go find my clinic translator to just double check everything. But I will make sure that we notify the parents that do speak Spanish in the senior class once I have that all finalized. Okay, next slide, please, Elizabeth. Okay, so the best way and the easiest way to find the scholarship is if you do not catch the screenshot of the website, is you can just go to the main CVS PTO, CVHS PTO website, and then you just look under parent resources and you'll see senior scholarship, and that has all of the information with the link to the scholarship as well as any of the other additional information. We did host if you go to the next slide. This was the calendar. We did host a virtual meeting for senior parents and students to talk about their scholarship, but we have the recording of that as well as the slideshow for that available to you. Again, the scholarship is open right now. The hardest part of the scholarship, really to apply for the scholarship, is to do the 250-word essay and then go to the website to submit it. We tried to make it really easy. We know our seniors are incredibly busy, but we didn't want to overlook any amazing talent amongst them. The scholarships will close during I can't read that. I'm on my phone as well. March 16th, which is the Monday after spring break. So we still have a good amount of time to go ahead and apply for that. Right now, I've only have applications from 5 students, and we really do want a lot of participation because we have, again, increased the number of scholarships. Once we have all of the applications, they will be blinded and our review committee will review them. And then based on that, we will invite a number of students to come for 20-minute interviews. There'll be virtual interviews with members of our committee. And then after that, we'll select the 15 winners for this scholarship. And then they will be announced at Senior Award Day, which will happen during the week after the AP exams. I believe it's I think it's maybe the week of May 18th, but we're still working on that. All right, next slide. Okay, again, this is the money slide. So if you want to just take a quick screenshot of this, that'll be great. It has the QR code as well as the website for the scholarship to apply, all of the questions your senior needs to answer to apply. And then it also has my email address in case you have any questions or concerns. And then I'll stick around to the end of the meeting in case anybody has questions about the scholarship. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vandana. Thank you for that. This is an exciting thing. I chaired that committee last year, and it's such an honor to be able to, look at all of these amazing, resumes and essays that our students have written. They spend so much time working throughout their career at Carnegie to be the best that they can be, and it really, really shows. It's just we have such an impressive student body, and it's so amazing. So please encourage your seniors to apply. Last year, we ended up having really great participation. I know we will again this year, and thank you very much, Vandana. It's an exciting thing that we're able to support, and also thank you for the volunteers that help on this committee to go through all of the applications. It's really a fun time.
Elizabeth, I just want to say that for all
Please.
parents, for all senior parents here, this scholarship, unlike some of the other ones, this one is not need-based, and it's also not academic based. So if your students are telling you, I cannot apply because I don't qualify, don't
Yeah.
let them tell you that. Everyone should qualify. We are expecting that everyone should can and should apply. So please have them take a look at the website that has the links on or that has kind of the statement on what they need to submit for their essay and go ahead and apply. So I encourage all senior parents here, you are armed with the information that everyone is eligible.
Yes, that is a really great point, Gary, because yeah, it's important to know that it's just you go to Carnegie and you're a senior, right? That is the only that's what we're looking for. So, thank you very much. And I'm here now. Do we have Josh on the phone?
I am here. Hello.
Oh, excellent. I'm just going to introduce you real quick, Josh. Josh has worked with students across the greater Houston area to help us understand the college admissions process, kind of demystify it. It's for those of us like myself, I haven't gone into that arena yet. I'm not, my kid is still a sophomore, and I have a freshman that'll be coming in. So we're not thinking about, I mean, we're thinking about it, but not really. So I think it's great. Josh is going to tell us a little bit about First Step College Prep and how he helps students and parents kind of prepare for college and for that process. Josh, I'm going to get your presentation up in just a second, unless you'd like to share.
Yeah, I don't mind sharing. That's no big deal. I can do
Okay,
that.
please go ahead.
Cool. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Josh Prater, and I just wanted to say that it is absolutely wonderful, the amount that y'all put into, giving back to your students through the way of scholarships. It is an absolutely wonderful cause to invest in our future. So I just wanted to say how impressed I was with that. But without further ado, again, I'm Josh Prater. I'm the founder and lead admissions consultant at First Step College Prep. Just want to make sure everybody can see the slide okay. Everybody good?
Yes, we
Thumbs
can
up.
see it.
All right,
Yep.
perfect. Cool. So, right off the jump, I do have a QR code that has my contact information. If you want to scan that, great. I'll also have it later in the presentation. But just a little bit more about me. I founded First Step College Prep in 2022. By day, I am a teacher in Pasadena ISD. I teach at Sam Rayburn High School Early College. I teach a subject called AVID. So I love it so much. I do college prep all day long, and then I come home in the evening and do more college preps. So I've been an educator for 8 years, And even before I opened First Step College Prep, I've always been very active in helping my students through the college admissions process. Through the 3 application cycles, now finishing the 4th, we have gotten our students over $1.7 million in aid and scholarships, and that averages out to just over 50,000 or 54,000 per student. Okay. I also am registered with the Texas Association of College Admissions Counseling. So yeah, this is truly a passion for me. Okay. Now, gonna do this with the quickness because I respect everybody's time. So this is sort of like Forrest Gump mode. Here we go. 3 things on our agenda. Okay. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to enhance your student summers. Listen, it's February. Students are already looking at spring break, and we're going to blink and then summer is going to be here. So, and we mentioned, 9th and 10th grade, there's already things that we can be doing to help sort of enhance summers, to help students sort of build their portfolio. Then we'll talk briefly about how First Step College Prep will be able to help your students and Carnegie Vanguard High School through a program that we're planning this summer. And then I will open it up for questions and also provide a QR code for you to ask any questions you may have. So, how can we support our students and get them college ready? Well, like the first thing we have to look at, right? College admissions is always an evolving being. It's an evolving beast. And you can scroll your TikTok, you can scroll your Instagram, and you can see a million different things that colleges are looking for. But realistically, it's broken down into 5 consistent things, right? So just going to jump right into it. Intellectual curiosity is like the big buzz phrase, especially with the highly selective universities. Just showing a willingness to learn outside of the classroom, right? Whether that be through an independent project, whether that be through outside lab research, a job, things like that. Collaboration, listen, teamwork is always going to be an important part of the process. You're typically going to be assessed in 4 different ways in college. It's going to be exams, it's going to be papers, it's going to be labs, and it's going to be group projects, right? So how well are you working with others in your environment? Okay. Consistent engagement. Here's where we sort of occasionally lose sight of what's important to admissions officers. We have a lot of folks that are out there and they want a resume stack and they want to be an officer in 9 different organizations, right? Realistically, I don't know how much time you're really spending involved deeply with these organizations if you're in 9 of them, right? So they want long-term consistent engagement over like a few activities that really speak to who you are. And you guys have already talked about how much you're doing in the community and, service for others and community impact. That's a big one. Universities are always looking for students that are willing to give part of themselves. And one of our most important commodities is time. And then obviously leadership. Look, I mean, it definitely looks good on a college resume when you are, the president of an organization or you're a communications officer of an organization. But leadership can take initiative in different ways, right? And we'll talk more about that. Now, it is a very fluid thing. But through my research and through colleagues, I've kind of narrowed it down to like this general formula where I feel like if we're doing this during the summer, you are on a great path for college readiness and ready for applications once that July 1st, August 1st timeframe of beginning of senior year hits, right? So during the summer, we should be looking to do 1 to 2 things that are enriching yourselves academically, right? That could look like a dual credit class. That could look like, possible foreign language lessons. Also making sure that we're looking at PSAT and SAT prep as well. And then a meaningful commitment, as in like finding something that's really important to students. As I work with them, one of the biggest motivating factors is figuring out like what a student likes, who they are, right? Because there's so many times when you ask someone who's 14, 15, 16 years old, like, hey, what are you interested in? What do you want to major in? And they're often like, I don't know, right? So that's something that we encounter a lot. So really getting to know your student through, I mean, you can take all sorts of like career assessments, aptitude assessments. I actually offer some different ones that when folks and families work with me, like we kind of, that's like the foundation of everything, right? Like understanding who you are as a student, what your strengths are, your identity, your core values, all that good stuff. Okay. A personal project. Now, if you've spent any time looking at like who gets into Ivy League schools and who gets into these highly selective universities, a lot of times you'll see that a student has done something outside of the normal classroom, outside of community involvement, and actually created something of their own. Sometimes that looks like running a business. Sometimes that looks like engaging the community in some sort of like tutoring or summer program, or you're running a camp for something. And it sounds like, whoa, that's just for the highest of the high achieving kids. All students can do this, right? They just have to be able to identify the things that they're interested in, right? And then coming back to kind of level it off here, 1 to 2 steps towards college readiness. And this is sort of a blanket term, but are we prepping for the SAT? Are we working on our academic resumes? Are we doing the things like in assessing ourselves to figure out like, hey, am I going to take AP coursework next year? If so, what am I going to do? Right. And all of this and doing this during the summer really helps sort of shape this story, right? Because universities admit people, they don't admit applications. And that's the corniest catchphrase that I will say today, I promise you. But it's true. They get thousands. UT had 100,000 applications this year. They need someone that's going to stand out to them, not just someone who can say like, oh, I've done 100 things and like not really give a sense of who they are, right? Okay, let's move forward. Now, if you have a ninth grader on moving on to the 10th grade, there's a few things that you can do. One thing that I've included here, this QR code, it is an extracurricular activity tracker chart. Pardon its crudeness, but it gets the job done. Okay. So we're talking like intro level academic enrichment. We're talking pre-college programs, lots of local universities, U of H, Rice, UT, A&M, all of them have camps, online academies. Texas A&M does a pre-veterinary camp that fills up really fast. I actually think it's already closed for the year, but I could be mistaken on that. But just again, we're trying to find that foundational, like, I think I might be interested in this, right? Because we want our students, we want our kiddos to sort of start finding a general direction. And then PSAT prep. You're going to see me, hear me say PSAT and SAT prep a lot. And there's a reason for that I'll talk about in just a few minutes. Okay. Volunteering, y'all, again, our most precious commodity on this planet is time. Okay. How are we spending it? Are we doing things that we're passionate about? Are we giving our time back to the community? That is really important, especially things that are sustained. Not just I volunteered at an elementary school and read books to kids here, and then I went and raked somebody's yard here, right? Like we need something that's consistent. Exploring new interests. There's all sorts of stuff in coding, robotics, writing, you name it, the foundational pieces of like figuring out if we like stuff. It's all around us. Okay. Job shadowing or informational interviews. One thing that I've learned about people in my line of work is they love to talk about themselves, and that is not a negative thing. If a student asks another professional, hey, I really am interested in what you do. Is there any way that I could come for like half a day during the summer and like shadow, right? 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be yes. Even just sort of cold calling around, I've had students have tremendous success with that. If you know somebody, or you know somebody who knows somebody that does something that you want to do, all you got to do is ask, right? Then starting a small personal project, even a business. At my school, I call them young entrepreneurs who like to sell snacks out of their backpack. Those are the types of things, even though it might be frowned upon by school administration, and please nobody report back that I mentioned that I pseudo support this, but I think it really builds character for kids, right? They're going out, they're showing hustle, they're showing their ability to actually go out and do something and show and have something to show for their hard work, right? But I mean, it could look like a writing blog, it could be a YouTube channel, it could be a TikTok channel or an Instagram, like anything like that, an art portfolio, like if you want to get into coding, all of that stuff. All right. 10th grade going to 11th grade. We need to start narrowing our focus and building this narrative that we want to tell this story to admissions officers. So that's when we're really hammering a strong academic resume and we're continuing that consistent activity. Um, you know, when I say intermediate academic programs, I'm saying like if you've volunteered or you've gone to a camp before, go again, but this time try a different role. See if there's a camp where you can, be a leader in that specific area, right? Also, university extension courses, dual credit online, college coursework, CLEP classes, or I'm sorry, CLEP exams to get high school credits by exam. And then this is where I really like to stress like, hey, if you're interested in pre-med, if you want to be a nurse, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to go into the sciences, let's start looking into research, right? This one is harder. Like you can't just walk into MD Anderson and be like, hey, those test tubes look kind of cool, right? These are very difficult areas to sort of approach, but it is possible, right? And there are online research mentorship programs where, obviously you're not going to be hands-on in an actual physical lab, but like research and data analysis, that is stuff that admissions officers just eat up. So, competitive and selective programs. So like Governor's School, Berkeley has a really cool youth business program, Girls Who Code, things like that. Really cool. And then launching a personal initiative. So it's a little bit different than the business aspect. So it's like, hey, I want to start a foundation that gives back to the needy, or, I want to start a food drive at my school, that sort of stuff. And really making a social impact. Okay. Now this is where the rubber meets the road when you have your 11th grader and they are becoming a senior in high school. Okay. This is where we're buttoning everything up. We are looking at internship possibilities. We are looking at more selective university programs. This idea of a capstone project is really good in theory, but it really just depends on kind of what you're interested in. Coming up with something that is more holistic, saying like, well, I've written, a blog for the last 3 years and I want to come up with some big portfolio, right? Or I love to draw and creating a portfolio, or taking your first shot at CAD, something like that, right? But all of these things, like where there's efforts, there's possibility. And then building an app, easier than you think. I am a week and a half from my 40th birthday. And I feel slightly older every day that I'm in the classroom. But I have built a couple apps through a program called Jotform. And it's actually really cool, and students can do it and they can learn to code like that. So it's no big deal, right? Obviously leadership roles are really important. Leading a camp, club, or a student organization. All right. SAT prep. Here's where I said I was going to come back to this. Okay. The trend, which could change, seems to be that universities are going back to a more mandatory-ish assessment of college applications that includes a mandatory submission of an SAT score. University of Alabama, Purdue, UT, they are all moving to this model. Now, I think everybody in this room would probably be in agreement with me saying that the SAT is not a sole indicator of college success. However, it is a big piece of the puzzle when it comes to financial aid, merit awards, things like that. So we need to go ahead and get ahead of the curve on this and make sure that our kiddos are getting that SAT prep where they can find it. And then finalizing a resume. Okay. I know I'm up against time, so I just want to make sure that I, am respectful of everyone's evening. Okay. So we're talking about a message for our kids, right? Universities are not looking for students who do absolutely everything, right? They want students who tell a story from their freshman year to the end of their junior year. Okay. And summer is where you can help to make that story more visible. Um, and again, like we're talking about the formula that I mentioned before, one or two academic enrichment activities. And really, I mentioned PSAT, SAT prep, but if we can, add something else instead of that and sort of just put that in our back pocket as something that we automatically do, then that's great. A meaningful commitment, a personal project or something that's passion driven for us. And then one or two steps towards college readiness, like getting that resume in order, doing college major exploration, going and visiting colleges when you're a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, seeing what it's like, sitting in on a lecture if you can, right? Those are things that are really, really important. And on top of that, when you go to visit college campuses and you let them know that you're there, you take an official tour or you go, and actually sit in a class, that comes to them as demonstrated interest in attending that university. And that is something that is often considered when weighing admissions decisions. So, as parents, we have to encourage consistency over perfection because we have overachievers that we all know. And if they make that B, it crushes them. Or if they don't get that scholarship, they're just completely broken up about it, right? We can sort of circumvent that by, helping them realize things that they enjoy. Now, how we can support our high schoolers, okay? Lead with curiosity over control. This is the therapy portion of the presentation. So ask questions like, what part of this is really exciting for you? Okay. Or what seems to be so confusing about this, right? Let the students build their own self-awareness so they can make their own decisions, right? If we just jump in and take control, and as a teacher, like I'm right there, I'm like, hey, let me help you with this, right? But like they have to be able to make their own mistakes. And then especially, early in the high school process, normalizing the learning curve. Because look, that first AP class is gonna be hard, right? We're gonna have stress. Maybe Honey Boo Boo gets his heart broken by his boo thing, right? And that completely devastates them. These are all things that happen in high school environments. So we need to be supportive of that. Encouraging routines and focusing on habits. These are things that will serve them well in the college environment. Celebrating, this is like the most important one. Celebrate character just as much as you would celebrate achievement. When you see them be kind to somebody, say awesome. When you see them being resilient, when you see them follow through and they explore their curiosity, these are all things that we need to make sure that we're telling our kids, because the neuroscience, the evidence supports like this builds those positive neural pathways and allows them to say like, yes, I can do this. Or, yeah, it's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it in the end, right? These are all things that are really important. The quote that I've always given my parents is just to say like, I'm here to support you. I'm not trying to steer you. I trust you and I am proud of who you are becoming. This has like this like mind-blowing effect to these kids because they really feel that, especially when it comes from their parents who love them dearly. These are things that are really important to say to our kids and support them. Okay, cool. How can First Step College Prep help my kiddo and Carnegie students? So there's a few different things that I do. Okay. I offer to every campus community group, I offer free monthly college admissions workshops. I have a menu on my website of all the different ones that I do, but I can customize, do whatever you need. Like College Admissions 101, just sort of demystifying the whole process, how to build a list and do the research on colleges, right? And then one of my specialties is writing the college admissions essay. I also run small group counseling that's limited to 8 students at most. Typically, it's anywhere between 4 and 8 students. And for Carnegie specifically, I'm opening some Carnegie only cohorts, right? Anywhere between really 3 and 8 students. So if that's something that you're interested in, we meet weekly for 90 minutes. There's a whole curriculum that we work on to get everything in order. And then that comes with obviously like expert support. You can email me, text me anytime. And it says 24 to 48 hours, but if I'm awake, I will respond. And then one-on-one counseling also is something that I do. And for schools and other groups that I work with, I offer 20% discounts on that. And if you are interested in booking a consultation or you just have a question, there is a QR code on the screen. You can scan it, and I have created a special QR code or special booking on my website just for Carnegie Vanguard that says Carnegie Vanguard office hours. So you can book 15 minutes with me and we can chat. Okay, now the thing that I'm really excited about, and Smith and Gotti have been very kind in working with me, and I know the dates are still tentative right now,
Josh,
but
can I, before you go into the details,
yes,
I'm going to give just a little bit of some background for all of the parents that are on.
sure, absolutely.
So the PTO has been working with Josh for the last maybe couple months now, and
Mhm.
we're trying to figure out what is the best way to engage. One of the offerings he had was to come here and speak to us, but there was an additional offering where we could host some essay boot camps over the summer. And so what you're about to see is the tentative kind of schedule and what that camp would be. However, we don't have kind of a sign up sheet yet. This is all in the very early stages of being discussed. So what I would ask is if there are parents on here that would be interested in attending the camp as Josh is explaining and describing what it is, please put your name in the chat and let me know that you're interested so I can make sure that we structure it accordingly and then we host it for the right number of kids, etc. Okay. Thank you. Over to you, Josh.
Thank you so much. So yes, the plan is for a 4 hour window each day on Tuesday, June 9th, Wednesday, June 10th, Thursday, June 11th. I will be available on the campus. And again, we're still in the early stages, but this is what we're proposing to do an essay boot camp. And that would be followed by a writing lab where I can give like real time feedback, and then office hours to answer any and all college readiness questions. So basically the way the agenda would break down is a student would come in at the beginning on June 9th. We'd run the full essay boot camp, which takes anywhere between an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 45 minutes. And we walk through the key components of what a great college admissions essay looks like. And then after that, we'll spend time actually formulating and crafting those essays. Okay. And then that same thing would happen on Wednesday, June 10th. So again, 2 separate days where a student can come in and absolutely get the information that they need. And writing about your entire high school experience and telling your story is often a very daunting challenge to students. So this is something that will help build their confidence. Okay. And then that Thursday, we would still have the writing lab. We just wouldn't do that boot camp at the beginning, but this would be a chance where students could come in and work on their essays. They come and go as they please. And then again, I would have those office hours to answer any and all college readiness questions. And then on the 12th, that same Carnegie office hours link on my website. I will be available between 4 and 8:30 on June 12th. Again, these are tentative dates, but we would reserve a 15-minute window, and we could chat, and I could help you with any questions you might have on that. The last thing that I would genuinely and greatly appreciate, and again, I'm so grateful for all of your time this evening. If you have one question, one clear answer that you need about your specific student's college path, what would it be? Okay, so I've created a Google form here for you. And these questions may be like, how does my kiddo figure out what they want to major in? What does the timeline look like? How many times should I take the SAT? What about essays? What about scholarships? How competitive is this school, right? These are all questions that I will 100% answer for you. If you'll scan the QR code and just send it to me, I will reply to you with the quickness. And that's it for me. If anybody has any questions, I would love to answer them here, or if you just want to send those my way through the QR code, that is also wonderful as well.
Thank you so much, Josh. That was very thorough and just so much information in
Yeah,
there.
that's like drinking from a
Small
fire hose. I'm sorry.
Yes. So for the parents, if you didn't catch everything, don't fret. We will be putting out a recording of the full meeting as well as this segment that we can separate out so you can just go back and watch that. And as I said, if you are interested in the summer camp or you would be interested in the summer camp with different dates, put your name in the chat so I know to reach out to you and get some feedback as we continue to kind of shape and build this initiative.
Wonderful. And again, just thank you so much for all of your time this evening. And I hope everybody has a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Josh. Man, that was a great session. Feel really glad that I got to see that. So thank you so much again. I feel like I learned a lot. A little bit nervous, but that's okay. That's how it is as a parent of a high schooler. So at this time, we are going to close the call, and that is at 8:29 today. And thank you all so much for your time. And we will see you, not in March, but we'll see you in April. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.